Yeah, so just to give you a kind of a brief oversight of what Team Talk is. So Team Talk has been set up by the EFL, and it's a mental health campaign launched in line with the charity Mind after a 10-year mental health. So some stats that are currently on the screen are from that report, which we'll go over in a second, but it's a campaign that encourages support. So obviously, in line with what's been happening in this incredibly difficult year and football behind closed doors, so many supporters have kind of felt isolated and have missed the socialising. So it's a way of bringing people together to chat about everything football and just kind of how people are feeling. So as well as us running our Team Talk today, it's actually a campaign called Time to Talk Day. So just so that you're aware of that, if you want to go and have a search for that following this, you're welcome. So some of the stats that have come out in the health report are 2 in 5 men, which is 43%, admit to regularly feeling worried or low, which is an increase from 37% in 2009. The number of men who have suicidal thoughts when feeling worried or low has doubled to 10% since 2009. And men's preferred alternatives to being prescribed medication are face-to-face therapies. As part of the foundation, we already run some Team Talk activities, as well as you're aware of, because all of you are part of it. So it's just another way that the EFL are trying to bring supporters together to feel more comfortable and more reassured about talking about mental health. With there being such a big stigma around it, it's important that people are coming out and talking about how they're feeling. What we have on the next slide is some photos of things that have happened with Team Talk previously. So originally, when it was set up through the foundation, it was in line with the steelworks in Redcar being closed down and helping people get back into employment. So it was things like chats, setting up things that they called boot rooms, which, as you can see, George Friend and Ben Gibson there in the background, and the Borough players actually made a topless calendar to raise some money towards funding it. There is a video of George Friend talking about Team Talk as well. So I'm going to pass across to Gaz in a second, who has got some questions ready for you, Sam, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so what we'll do now is we'll do the Q&A questions that you guys have all prepared, ready for today. Sam, are you okay?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Feeling good? Have you been training this morning?
Yeah, good session. New
Good
lads
stuff.
trained today as well, and they all look good, so exciting time.
Good. Excellent stuff. What we'll do is I'll just say your name, and if you want to ask your question, feel free to unmute yourself and then speak to Sam. So we'll go with Jill first. Jill, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question to Sam?
Yeah, I was just wondering, how different is it with no crowds in, and are you actually getting used to having no crowds rather than the crowds being there?
Hi, Jill. It is, there's definitely a challenge. I remember initially when there was no crowds, it just felt really weird, because these were the build-up games as well to the restart of the season. And usually, even in the friendlies, there's still fans and there's still an atmosphere, but it's literally no atmosphere. I remember the game against Forest a week or two ago, away from home, and usually it's like it's a dark evening. You know, you hear the atmosphere, like the hostility from the away crowd, but just no fans. So it is strange. It's something I definitely miss. I think it's some players and some teams have benefited from it and some haven't as well. But it is definitely strange, and obviously most players can't wait for the fans to get back in.
That's good. That's good, because I can't wait to get back there as well.
I'm sure we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I think it's been that long now. People are just excited to get back to football how it used to be.
Definitely.
Have you noticed that it's easier to play away from home?
Yeah, a little bit. Again, it's just strange. It's even in the warm-up, and because I was a Wolves fan growing up myself, and Molineux's like a classic stadium, and even the build-up and the burger vans, and you know, everything is a part of match day. You know, you'd walk up with your friends or your family, and just that isn't there when you're playing, and it's just weird. It's as if you're playing a friendly. Obviously, the really competitive games, but just the atmosphere. You know, even on the coach going, you know, some grounds are hostile. It's not that anymore. So it is definitely strange. And in many ways, it's just not normal. You know, we always, and the crowd as well can give you energy as well. Like there's been times, certainly in my career, where I've gone out and the fans have given me a massive lift. And so obviously you don't get that. You have to create that energy and atmosphere yourself and with your team.
Thanks for that question, Jill.
Thank you.
Jill, if you don't mind just putting yourself back on mute.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll go next to Bill. Bill, would you like to ask your question?
It's nice to meet you, Sam. And I've got to say that it's a pleasure to watch you playing football the way you do it. What I would like to know today is, in practice, is it a way of getting fit, or is there a purpose to your plans when you're playing a game?
Yeah, good question. Nice to meet you as well. I think over the week, first and foremost, the sports science team, they'll make sure you hit certain targets in terms of distance, high speed running, accelerations, decelerations. So that sports science side, you will make sure that you hit the right numbers. So then for the games, you've hit enough numbers, so you're fresh, but also you're conditioned enough to deal with the demand on a Saturday. So in that fitness aspect, you do the way the game's moving, you do have to hit sort of the right numbers. And if you don't, I'm sure they'd pull you and say, listen, you know, you need to train more or less, and they're very good like that here. And I think there's always a purpose in what we do. Obviously, defensively, a lot of it, our game's man for man, so we incorporate that into training. But I think the biggest thing as well that this manager likes to adopt is just that competitiveness and the tempo of the game, and just making sure everyone's at it, everyone's enjoying it, and then hopefully that's coming out in our performances.
Oh, good. What concerns me about throw-ins, when we win a throw-in, it seems to be an advantage for the opposite side, because we never seem to get very much out of throw-ins.
Yeah, we've been working on them this morning, actually. I don't know if you've put in a letter to the manager, but we've been working on it this morning. But yeah, definitely there's lots of things we're doing well, and there's lots of things we can work on. And the staff here are diligent enough to see the things that we're not doing as good as we can do, and we're just going to keep working on them, keep trying to iron out the little things, and hopefully just keep progressing. Like I said, we've got a few new lads in as well who probably didn't have that many wide men. Now all of a sudden it looks like we've got a really nice balance of the squad. So again, you know, it's not going to come together straight away, but if we can keep improving, I'm confident we can have a good season.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam.
Yes, Bob.
Great question, well done. We'll go next over to Michael. Would you like to say your question to Sam?
Yeah, it's Sam.
Hi, Michael.
Yeah. What's it like working under Neil Warnock and all his staff? How different is it to your previous managers?
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been really enjoyable. When the interest in the summer was from Middlesbrough, I had a few teammates and ex-teammates who'd played under the manager. So they spoke in length about him, and the one thing they all love playing for him. You know, he's great. He's as sharp as anything still, which is unbelievable. It's very enjoyable. Training's great. And yeah, so far we're doing okay this season. I think there's definitely more to come from us. But in terms of working for him, you know, first and foremost, you're working for the man as well. And he's been very honest with everyone. You know, he'll tell you straight, like he does in the presser or whatever. So first and foremost, you know, you've got a boss who's going to be honest, and that's a massive thing, because in football as well, there's always sort of hidden agendas and politics and things like this, but he's very honest. So he's different to what I work with. Obviously, I worked for Paul Cook last season as well, who another brilliant manager. I'm sure will be in work soon, and they've definitely got similar traits in terms of the man management and trying to get the most out of people. But his track record, it speaks for itself. The staff are really good as well. Everyone's all in sync with each other, and it's a really strong squad here and a strong staff group as well.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We'll go over to Steve McNeil next. If you just unmute yourself, Steve, and ask your question to Sam.
I've actually changed my question because with lockdown, I've discovered YouTube.
Okay.
I'm a bit of an old school. I never really bothered with YouTube. And yesterday I had it on most of the day and stumbled across about 30 videos on Neil Warnock, which I didn't know existed. I've never had the inclination to look before.
Entertainment.
Yeah. And one in particular, from about 15 years ago, when he was manager at Sheffield United, it was actually from a fly on the wall documentary which Sky Television did called Warnock.
Okay.
And halfway through, it was half time, and it actually scared me watching it. And looking at the faces of the Sheffield United players, they looked absolutely petrified. He actually used the F word with ing on it 36 times.
Oh, really?
In 2.5 minutes.
Wasn't happy with that.
A couple of B's, profanities, and I thought, blimey.
Yeah.
Eventually, one of the players snapped and threw a water bottle on the floor. It was the captain.
Chris Morgan,
yeah. So, yeah. Right. Now, I've watched Neil Warnock just about every game this season. There's podcasts, there's all sorts of things. And he seems quite mild-mannered.
Mm.
Even when Dale Fry got booted in the face, he didn't lose it, although, Tony Mowbray said he chunted on a bit. Yeah. So I'm wondering, has he mellowed? Has he used that? Does he use profanities that bad to become scary? Or has he mellowed from what he used to be?
I think first and foremost, a manager, he's a gentleman. He's a very nice man. Again, if I had any issues sort of off the pitch, I know I could speak to him in confidence as well. And I know that there's a trust there. And I think he's got that with every player. So first and foremost, as a guy, he's top notch. Anyone can speak to him. If you've got any problems, and it does happen. I think there's a misconception that the way footballers are, but football throughout the season, they'll all have their individual issues on the pitch, off the pitch, family, you name it, just like everybody else. And he's someone you can talk to. But at the same time as well, when he's not happy with something, you'll know about it. You'll know about it. So in that sense, he's as fiery as ever. But when people ask me about him, I think one of the biggest qualities which I've seen is how quick he bounces back from disappointment. And I guess that comes with his experience. But he's not one to dwell on things, and because with some managers with less experience, when things aren't going well, they'll dwell on it, and all of a sudden, you've lost 5 or 6 games in a row, and it can happen. But he's very quick at bouncing back, and he's got the personality to lift the mood straight away, and he's very good like that. And obviously, that's why you can see the promotions he's got, because he doesn't dwell on the negatives. It's all about bouncing back, and in this league, that's what you have to do.
Well, actually, at the end of that tirade, he actually cracks a joke and everybody starts laughing.
Yeah.
So it was like, I thought it was pretty clever what he did. Yeah, Sid likes it.
I think you've got a question from the dog there as well, Sam.
Yeah. That's Sid.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for that.
My pleasure, mate.
Always good question.
Okay. Thanks for coming on, Sam.
My pleasure, Steve.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you in the Premier League next year. I don't think you've played there yet.
No, that's the plan.
There's been a few comments on the forum about players slipping, the Riverside.
Yeah.
And obviously affected you against Luton pretty badly. Yeah. Do you think there's an issue with the pitch, reference slipping of players?
Yeah, I think there is. It's a weird one because you go onto the pitch and it looks like an absolute carpet. It looks like Wembley.
Yeah.
But very soon, and I think I spoke with someone about it, it's like the second layer, because it's all half artificial, half sand. And I'm not sure the exact technical terms, but you tend to really lose your footing. Now, pretty much every player wears studs. We all wear studs. And I think it's opposition as well. But at home, it cuts up very easy, and it is really hard to keep your footing. And it's like, we went to Forest the other day, and their pitch didn't look half as good as ours, but
that's right,
put in a lot more. But so yeah, it's quite difficult because you can sort of lose your footing at any time, and it's the same for both teams. So it's not an excuse.
Yeah. Does the length of the stud make any difference?
No, because I've tried longer studs as well, and I've came to the same sort of conclusion with it. I just think it's the way it is. at the moment, to be honest, which is strange. So that's definitely at some point it needs addressing.
Right. So you think it's more to do with the stability of the pitch rather than how much water's on the pitch and things the club can do easily. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the stability of the pitch, because it's just in a lot of occasions where people just lose the footing, and it's just there's no explanation for it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, and good luck on Saturday.
Cheers, Steve. Thank you.
It has gone in our favour a couple of times this season, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, Luton, the penalty that they won, the guy double hit it, didn't he?
Yeah, but then Tab hit it as well, didn't
he?
Oh,
yeah. But what I'm saying is, that's evidence, isn't there? There's an issue, and it, like you said, it affects both teams. But the question was, has it ever helped us? Well, it did with the Luton one, didn't it?
Yeah.
In that sense, but no, I mean, it's worrying because Tav maybe picked up an injury, from a slip, in that a few weeks ago, didn't he? A couple of weeks ago, and I don't know. I always think it levels it off, but when you're playing at home and you're in the top half of the table, you should be using your home advantage, and sometimes it evens it out, having a bad pitch.
No, I agree, definitely.
Yeah.
Our groundsman as well, though, he must know what he's doing, because he's won the ground of the year many times. So I'm sure he'll be working on it hard and resolve the situation.
I think maybe the short summer. I think it was in the press. A journalist mentioned about the short summer because it didn't give them a chance to change the pitch.
Yeah, maybe.
We finished late, didn't we?
Yeah.
The end of July.
Thanks, Steve, for your question.
Yeah.
Alex, would you like to ask your question next? What do you think, Sam?
I think so.
Yeah, they're a good team. And I think we was organised. I think what we've done as well is, like against Rotherham, obviously we lost by a few, same at Preston. I think when we're going to go down, we've gone sort of all out to try and get the next one, and it's opened us up a little bit. But that hasn't worked in our favour on the score line. But what it has done is other games where we went a goal behind, like Birmingham and Wycombe, we ended up winning comprehensively. So it's just sort of taking that gamble a little bit, as opposed to sort of keeping it tight, and then maybe go on last minute. We're trying to win games, so we're not drawing many at the moment. I know we drew against Norwich, but a lot of them has been wins or losses. Is that better than draws? You could say, yeah, but also sometimes when you do a goal down, it could be more than one goal. But I think the managers instilled a toughness in us. We all fight for each other, and we want to do well as well. And it was interesting with Ben Gibson, actually. So I know Ben sort of off the pitch, and at the end of the game, he had really nice things to say to everyone. As we were going off, he was saying, come on, lads, you can get playoffs this season, which I thought was really nice. And it just shows he's a Borough lad. He loves the club, and there was just nice words from him.
Do you think, are you watching it? What do you think about this weekend? I saw it on my Facebook last night about Woodgate playing against Karakake this weekend. Do you think it'd be a good match? Two ex-Borough managers together.
Oh yeah, is that Birmingham?
It must be Birmingham and Bournemouth playing, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting one, to be fair, because I know obviously Woodgate's gone in there and he's favourite for the job, isn't he? Someone's favourite for the job, so it'll be an interesting one, and there'll be personal pride at stake and things like that. But I think with Rotherham winning, Derby are on a good run as well, Sheffield Wednesday winning, all of a sudden Birmingham, they're in a dogfight now, which at the start of the season, their goal would have been to get in the top 6, but it's just how competitive the league is.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that one, Daniel. Thanks for reminding me. I'll watch that at the weekend. It should be a good match.
Is Warnock a bit like Brian Clough a bit, Sam?
I think so, yeah. That's that sort of style. Like I said, he's a gentleman, but he's very honest. You know what you're getting every day. There's no grey area. It's black and white. And as a player, that's what you want.
Yeah. What made you come to Middlesbrough?
Well, there was a few options in the summer. I think the biggest one was the manager. Just his track record of getting teams promoted. obviously it's a massive club, but there aren't many small clubs in the Championship anymore. So the big sort of drive for me was the chance to play for the manager, knowing what he can do, knowing especially what he can do in the Championship. I just thought it's a good opportunity, and hopefully we can do something this season. And I think at the moment we're on track to do it.
We'll go over to David next. David, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, hello, Sam.
Hi, David.
Yeah, I'd just like to ask you about your own playing. What's your favourite position? In front of the defence or further up the park? Where would you prefer to play every week?
For most of my career, I've always played in a 2. A lot of my career I played 4-2-3-1, and I've always played in a 2. So, and on the left as well. So naturally, that is my best position. Because we've played a 1 and a 2, I've either played on the advanced right one or the sitting one. So I probably haven't played in my most comfortable position, but that's obviously because of the system. The answer is I don't mind, to be honest. I think I played in, when Johnny got injured, I played in 6 games, the 1 in the back 4, the 1 in front 4, and then the rest I played advanced. Just wherever the manager sees me, really. I know it's quite a cliche answer, but genuinely, I've always played the game like that, wherever the manager wants to play me. And especially this manager, he'll give you a specific job to do. You have to do your job. And I think with the midfielders, the way we play as well, a lot of the time, it's sacrificing yourself for the team. So it's sort of winning your battle, but you also want you to cover the wingers as well, so they can stay high as well. So it's a few roles in one, but I think the defensive one I've always done, so I know it well. But I don't mind, to be honest, as long as I'm playing, as long as we're winning, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think it was Jill that said about the playing in front of the empty stadiums. On the television, we can hear Neil Warnock all the time. Sometimes his language is a bit choice. You clearly, are you able to block him out?
Yeah. You hear him. He lets you be known, but yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. He's very positive, and towards the running, that's going to be very important, because them little things, they matter towards the running.
Yeah, he shouts plenty of encouragement, doesn't he? And a few other things.
That's him for you.
Right. Oh, okay, Sam. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Hi there.
Hi, mate.
Hi, Sam. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And the rest of the lads. My question is for if in the future, are you expecting Avia to play for the national team again?
Yeah.
Does it depend on Middlesbrough playing as well, do you think?
Yeah, that's the goal. I'm desperate to try and get back in the setup. Since the last manager come in, he hasn't called me up. The previous 2, I was in most of the squads. So it's just about trying to do as well as I can to Middlesbrough and trying to get a call up again, really, even if it's just for a camp, so the new manager can see me. Because the previous 2 managers were European managers, and this one's an Egyptian manager now. So he's called up more players who are playing in the Egypt League. But, if we're doing well, and if we get into the top 6 and I'm playing and we're doing well, then I think I'm knocking on his door to get another call up.
Yeah, excellent. Do you think the travelling involved will put a damper on you or not? Or doesn't the travelling, affect you in that way? Travelling to away games, I mean.
Yeah. No, so far it's been okay. It's been okay. They do the best for you to make sure you're prepared for the game. So far, I think the only thing is the fans not being in, but in terms of the travel, it's okay so far.
Okay, then. Thanks for that.
Cheers,
nice to talk to you. Thank you.
Well, as you know, all my family are massive Borough fans, and they've all got season tickets. So we decided to ask which question they wanted to ask, but they've changed it now from the one I wanted to ask. Okay. So they want to know, do you think that VAR should be in the Championship?
Yeah, I think because it's in the Premiership, I think it should be, because we've been done by a number of poor decisions this season. Birmingham at home, where the lad should have got sent off. Blackburn at home, the lad should have got sent off. Reading, we should have had a goal allowed. So we've been done by some really, really bad decisions.
I think that's where the question has come from, because there's been a lot of frustrating times for them, haven't there?
Yeah. As a whole, I don't really like it, to be honest. It just slows up the game, and especially, I remember the Man City Tottenham game in the Champions League where Man City scored and everyone's celebrating, and then they took it back for something a few minutes ago, which is just ridiculous. But so I don't like it, but I think if they are doing it in the Premiership, I'd like to see it in the Championship. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Can I just ask my other question? Just to ask, in football, what rules would you change and why?
Probably just VAR, to be honest. VAR, for me, I just don't like the new rules, the new subs. Just keep it how it is. Yeah, there'll be mistakes, but that's human error. But just keep it how it is. I just don't feel the need. They're on about this Super League, aren't they? Instead of the Champions League and things like this. But for me, just keep it how it is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really pleased to meet you, Sam.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I watch you all the time, every game, and see how you're getting better and better that you've got into the team. And from the beginning, you can see you're settling in really, really well. I think basically my question has already probably been asked. So I don't really have another one for you, apart from just good luck, and I'll be watching Saturday, and up the borough.
Yeah, no, that's a lovely message of support. Thank you, Jean, and thank you everyone who keeps supporting us. I know you all want to be at the games, and we want you back desperately, but the support does mean a lot, and we do really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So our time with Sam is coming to an end, but we're all going to stay on the call because we've got a little some more questions for you guys. So just once again, Sam, thank you for coming on today. All these people here will absolutely love it. I'm sure they'll go away and tell everybody. Some fantastic questions and some great answers as well. So thanks a lot, Sam, for coming on and taking your time today. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Nice to meet you all. And I'll come on anytime, and everyone stay safe and keep positive during these times.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
I'm going to hold you to that now, Sam.
Sam.
No problem.
Cheers. Take care. Good luck on Saturday.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.